Hi everybody, this is a review of an Indian Chieftain. I think this is a 2018 or maybe even a 2017 model, I'm not really sure. But I've been riding it since last Friday. So I guess that's a week now. I've put about 2,500 miles on it. I don't know, it's like 4,000 kilometers I guess. I've never ridden a cruiser before. I hope you can hear me. I've never ridden a cruiser before, so I was pretty nervous when I picked it up because it was big and it was heavy. It's absolutely massive. I know you may this sort of scale of it, you probably can't tell, but it's incredibly big, and it has a lot of luggage, which is probably my favorite part, but I'll get into that. It's 117 cubic inches, which I guess is like 1800 cc. It's a very traditional American air-cooled V-twin. I chose this one just because I wanted to see, I guess, the best of what it could be. I've never ridden a cruiser before, and I was doing some pretty big miles here in America, so I thought, you know what, let me just, and it was only a few dollars difference, so between this and the Springfield, which is what I was initially considering. So it's been a very positive experience to a point. Oh, sorry, 111 cubic inches, I guess. But it's been a pretty positive experience. But to be honest, I don't know if that's because it's a motorcycle or because it's this particular type of motorcycle. So I picked this up in Boston, and I took this all the way down into Tennessee and did the devil's I don't know what, dragon's tail, sorry, which is like for those of us in Australia and Sydney, it's a bit like the putty, and if you're in Australia, it's a lot like the Snowy Mountains. Actually, it's not that different. I guess it's a bit of a unique experience for Americans because it's not straight. It's very twisty. But it's very much like anywhere in the Snowy Mountains, or indeed the Putty Road, or the old Pacific. It's pretty much like that. But anyway, I'll do another video on reviewing the route that I did. The bike, I guess, what did I like about it? It was okay. It wasn't as comfortable as I thought, but okay, what did I like about it? I loved the sat nav. The sat nav was really good. Just sort of kept everything nice and straightforward. For me, I didn't have to bother getting lost. But at the same time, every now and then, the search on the sat nav would go. Let me see if it works. So it's got these sort of 4 buttons, which I thought was really cool. I didn't even bother hooking up my Bluetooth, even though I've got it. So if you come here and then you press the little, I don't know if you can see it. If you can press this button, every now and then this address thing disappears, which is a bit weird. But it wasn't the end of the world, because all you really have to do is just navigate, just move your thing around to where you want to go. And if you hold it down, it'll just say, yep, go here. So no big deal. 6 gears. The 6th gear is pretty much an overdrive. It doesn't do much. It just is meant there for cruising. The bottom 5 gears are okay. It runs out of puff really quick. And for 1800 cc's, America, what are you guys doing? How could you get so little power from 1800 cc's? No, not much torque, not much power. It's a bit humorous. You sort of, you sort of, every time you want to go fast, you're just full. It's almost binary. It makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't really accelerate, I guess, in the way that I'm used to. But having said that, you can build up some pretty serious speed. What else did I like about it? Yes, the central locking. It's pretty fun. It's really good, actually. You don't have to worry about it. These things are pretty big, so I packed for a whole week in there. And you've got these buttons that just unlocks and locks. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. I think that was pretty. You didn't have to worry about the luggage, especially when you're stopping for lunch and doing whatever else. What else did I like? Cruise control was really good. That really helped me out. Just sort of rested. Super comfortable from a ergonomics perspective. If you want to know what it feels like, just sit on a lounge chair, and that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the things that I don't like. Couldn't move around too much on the seat, so especially when it got really twisty, it was a bit, yeah, it was a bit restrictive, so I just ended up moving my shoulders. Yeah, like I talked about, just doesn't have the same amount of power that you would expect from something this big. Americans who like cruisers, or anyone who likes cruisers, you should really ride a sports tourer. I'm not saying ride a sports bike, but ride a sports tourer and you'll sort of understand how much power can come from a smaller engine. The amount of heat this thing produces is incredible. Like right now it's very pleasant. Right now it's about, I don't know, low 20s, so it's quite pleasant. But the first day I had this, it was around 33 to 35 on the interstate. My lord, it is hot. It is hot when you're moving, because what ends up happening is that all this heat just stays there, because normal V-twins I don't think have all of this stuff up the front. So what ends up happening is that all of this heat that gets produced here just sort of swirls around and swirls around, and then I ended up having to sit up here, put my butt up there, just to sort of get some fresh air. It was too much. But if the weather's nice, it's okay, it's passable. One thing I forgot to mention is that it has this little gadget where the windscreen goes up and down. It's all well and good, but to be honest, it's a bit of a gimmick. I used it when it was raining, so it kept the rain off me, which was fantastic. But for the reasons mentioned before, I tried to keep it down, and I was actually this lip was exactly where my sight was, and the windscreen itself, it was not the best. So I couldn't really see the corners, so I just tried to keep it down. And every time I had to look around the corner, I tried to sort of keep my head out here or out here, just so that I can see around the windscreen. Yeah, I definitely would not do a bike with a windscreen again. Couldn't really use the rear brake. You can see the pedal up here, especially on spirited riding. It's not exactly a place that you can. It's not friendly for use. Couldn't really hold on with the ankles like you can on a sports bike. So you find yourself having to hold on the arm on the bars, which is again not really suited for spirited riding. Brakes are pretty abysmal. I suppose it has to do with the size of the bike. I'm pretty sure that mine are warped as well. It sort of shudders. At low speed, it just sucks so much. It sucks at low speed. I think this shaft drive is fine because you don't have to do much maintenance, I guess. But like at low speed, it's just so hard to inch along. There was a point where in the interstate where they had some accident up front, and it was really difficult to just crawl along. It wasn't completely stopped. It was really difficult to just crawl along, and I think it had to do with the warped brake as well. It just sort of so it was really difficult. Look, very happy I had the experience. Great build quality. I think I'm really happy that I went with an Indian on an Indian. That was the thing. So keyless ignition, I think that was pretty fun, but I just got very paranoid about where my bloody key was all the time. Especially, you're just not used to it. Yeah, it was look, if you've never done a cruiser before, just remember that all your basic principles still apply to a point. Look where you're going. Your counter steering very much applies. These super wide bars definitely make that easier. But yes, the balance is a little bit different, but I got used to it pretty quickly. I don't think this has a slipper clutch, but I was still able to knock up the gears without necessarily using the clutch all the time. I didn't like it though, so I stopped doing it after once or twice. And yeah, fuel economy was alright. But what do I know about these cruisers? And yeah, it sort of went okay. It went okay. Now, would I do it again? Probably not. Would I buy one? Absolutely not. And anyone who's considering this, I would definitely recommend any kind of BMW cruiser, or the new baggers they've got. I haven't ridden one, but I know even from an engine perspective, those things are rocket ships. I hope that's been helpful. If not, well, I'm sure that you'll find something else. Bye-bye.